UK, RAYNET, CQ RAYNET. This is Golf 4 November Romeo Charlie, operated today by Greg, Golf 0 Delta Uniform Bravo, serving as net control for the RAYNET UK weekly activity net. This net meets each Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time and is open to all amateur radio operators interested in emergency communications. The primary purpose of the net is to provide the opportunity for members to test equipment, exchange traffic news, opinions and information with additional information on the RAYNET UK website at www.raynet-uk.net. This is a directed net, which means all calls are to be made to the net control station unless you are instructed otherwise, and all RAYNET UK operators are invited and encouraged to check into the net. When you do check in, please announce your call sign slowly and phonetically, followed by your name, and if you wish to leave the net immediately after checking in, then please call in and out. Otherwise, if you want to leave after subsequent turns, please make it very clear you want to check out at that time. After I've heard a few check-ins, I'll repeat all I've heard. If you're not acknowledged, then please do try again. And if you miss your turn to call in, I will call for any strays at the end of the UK and international sections. So I'll begin taking check-ins to the RAYNET UK weekly activity net as usual in call sign number order. So any stations with figure 9 in their call wishing to check in, please call now. G4 and RC, over. And RC, second call, any stations figure 9 in their call sign, please go ahead, over. Heard, so let's have 8. Stations figure 8 in that call sign, please go ahead, over.
Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie Phil in Lincoln.
Golf 8 Echo Yankee G8 EEY, name is Mike.
For an RC, I've got Phil, Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie, and Mike, Golf 8 Echo Yankee. Any other rates, please? G4 and RC, over. Good, let's have 7. Stations figure 7 in that call sign, please go ahead, over. G4 and RC.
Golf 7 November Echo Hotel G798. Good afternoon, Greg.
798, good afternoon, Greg. G798, good afternoon, Graham. Any other 7s, please? Figure 7 in your call sign only. G4 and RC, over. And RC, nothing, so let's have 6s. Stations figure 6 in the call sign, please go ahead, over. And call any stations figure 6, please go ahead, over. 6s, we'll have 5. Stations figure 5 in their call sign, please go ahead, over. We don't have many 5s in the organisation, so with nothing heard, we'll go straight down to 4s. Stations figure 4 in their call sign, please go ahead, over.
G4 and RC, G4KUJ, Trevor in Hertfordshire. Golf 4 Kilo India Lily, Philip, South Sussex.
For an RC, I've got Trevor, G4KUJ, and Philip, G4KIL. Any other 4s, please? G4 and RC, over.
Golf 4 Hotel Uniform Foxtrot.
Hotel Uniform Foxtrot, good afternoon, Phil. Let's move down to the 3s. Stations figure 3 in their call sign, please go ahead, over.
Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, Ian.
Whiskey Zulu Hotel X-Ray. Good afternoon, Ian. Any other threes, please? G4NRC, over. Nothing heard, so let's have twos. Stations figure 2 in their call sign, and that includes you, remaining intermediate twos. Please call now, over. Second call, any stations figure 2 in their call sign. Please go ahead, over. Thank you, so let's have ones. Stations figure 1 in their call sign. Please go ahead, over. We're at RC, second call, any stations figure 1 in their call sign. Please go ahead, over. Nothing heard, so it's Mike Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, please. Over.
M0 JSA, in and out today, Claire. Thank you.
Hello, JSA. Good afternoon, Alan. Copy to you in and out. Any other Mike Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, over? RC, nothing heard. So let's have Golf Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, over.
Golf Whiskey Zero, Juliet Lima X-Ray. Good afternoon, Greg. Name is Andy. Raynet, Pembrokeshire. No traffic today, so in and out, please. Over.
U0 JLX. Good afternoon, Andy. Nice to hear you, and copy to you in and out. So let's have any UK station who's missed their turn to call in. Please call now. G4NRC, over.
Mike 7 Victor Sierra. Over.
Mike 0 Golf Uniform Yankee. Good afternoon, Greg and all.
For an RC, I've got Stephen Mike 7 Victor Sierra Delta, who was 23% packet loss on the Brandmeister side that you're calling in through, Stephen. So not pretty, but I could at least be sure that you were staying with and not in and out. And Guy, good afternoon to you. Mike 0 Golf Uniform Yankee. Okay, do we have any of our international colleagues on the talk groups today? That's usually Newt-Sandband of Norway, Aaron in Ireland, Aries and Slovakia, etc. Any of international colleagues, please? G4NRC, over.
Lima Alpha 6 India Mike. Name is Hans. In and out, Greg.
India Mike, good afternoon, Hans. Copied you in and out, and thanks for acknowledging the invitation the other day. Okay, any stations, UK or international, who've missed their turn to call in, please call now. G4NRC, over. G4NRC, nothing heard. Okay, reminder as usual, G7NEH, Graham is live streaming the net to YouTube today. Past live streams and recordings are available by searching G7NEH, that's Golf 7 November Echo Hotel on YouTube, and you'll find the back streams there. If you leave them a like and subscribe so you can be notified of the next relay, that would also be appreciated. It's a time constrained net today, so we will be finishing at 16:40 to 16:45, and for as far as news items are concerned, two emergencies focused the mind this week. Storm Goretti continued the pain of the cold weather snap and affected much of the country, and I know at least one group was put on standby. So did anything happen in your area from your LRFs for storm response? Meanwhile, in Berlin, a power outage to 50,000 homes, or if you want to focus attention more, over 100,000 people, took many days to resolve as the failure appears to have been caused by sabotage. Germany still has an effective civil defence organisation, so amateurs were not called out to assist, but questions are being raised about the situational awareness of the authorities and the vulnerability of a lot of infrastructure to such attacks. Without wanting to provoke a debate, all members should have seen the news on Friday about the future of RAYNET email addresses following the massive reduction in support from Microsoft. If you haven't, then please try and do so. Also, if you haven't, you may have been in the half of the organisation that hasn't actually used Office 365 since its introduction. So I do worry some people might not know what's going on. Right, on that basis, let's see what thoughts we've got from everybody this week, starting with Phil, G8KLC, G4NRC, over. G8KLC, G8KLC, G4NRC, over.
Yeah, G4NRC, G8KLC, sorry, my mistake, pushed the wrong button. The radio went weird miss. No great traffic this weekend. As far as the LRF are concerned, I certainly didn't get an alert, and I don't believe Jenny, the group controller, got an alert either. So we were fairly quiet. Went for a bit of a drive round, and it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Certainly not this side of Lincolnshire. So that was fine. Yeah, acknowledged the news. Could have been put better, I think. So it's not a big discussion, but it's slightly confusing. Do we only run one mail system, or did we run two? And the Microsoft one's going away. I'm sure somebody will shout at me and tell me exactly what's going on. And don't think there's anything else. Other than, of course, first time on this year, so Happy New Year to everybody on the net. G4NRC, G8KLC.
G8KLC, G4NRC. I was so itching to do a Happy New Year, Phil, and then thought better of it. It is the 11th, albeit at work. They've still got the Christmas trees up, so I don't know how much bad luck we're in for that. Okay, on the LRFs, and the weather could have been worse. In all the weather warnings, Cheshire was actually fairly missed out, and Merseyside as well, so it was reasonably okay here. Yes, the messaging on the transition is challenging to do, and how much do you put in, but do take the point, and that has been raised. As far as running one mail system, so a domain can only have one mail server is my understanding, or put another way, you can't split one mail system across two different providers and expect things to run very nicely. Did we run two? Yes, we did. There was a legacy one on the old server going back about 9 years. That was what would be what sends through emails for membership inquiries and stuff like that, and that habitually got rejected as spam by the Office 365 ones, in my experience anyway. Hence my slight sympathy with, if we're going to try and split things, how would you actually make sure everything got through? But the technical people will know more about that than I do. Okay, ready with my weather report fingers. It's Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee next, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC from G8DEY. It's cold. No, it's not too bad. 3.8 centigrade, 1010 millibars, which is way up from how low it went over Gority. 92% relative humidity, total cloud cover, but 20 mile an hour winds from 1 to 60 degrees. So it's a bit drafty, but here in Norfolk, I think we got away very lightly with Gority. Just a couple of days of very strange snow. It's a sort of powdery stuff, looks like walking on white sand. But yeah, not too many crunchy bangs or whatever around. Gritters were out, so we seem to have survived quite well. we certainly got no call out, but I was monitoring the VFCC's WhatsApp, which is quite useful since I had the ability to link the Samsung mobile onto the desktop on Windows 11, so I could actually see WhatsApp without having to use this horrible BlueStack system, which tied up everything while it was doing things like that. Yes, I've had some emails in from some of Zone 4 on the subject of email, and it's not good at the moment. I'm just working out what to say to any of them, really. It's difficult when you don't really know ourselves what's going on. From G8EEY.
Echo Echo Yankee G for NRC returning, and yes, I'm getting through. Okay, we don't get the joy of having a WhatsApp group in Cheshire. Things only happen when Red Cross choose to email people. Is the way it's working. Given we are going back about a week from when the cold snap started, slight bizarreness for us was we drove back Sunday night from basketball, seeing gritters out, and on Monday morning it had made no difference whatsoever. There was still loads of snow and chaos, and I think it's a British Rail style wrong kind of snow. Okay, I know the system is live on YouTube. I don't listen to myself anymore, so I'll just go to Graham now and see how many viewers we've got. G7NEH, G4 and RC, over.
Yeah, G4 NRC, G7NEH. Good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon to all on the net. So last week we had 40 views and 2 likes, and this week at the moment we've got 4 people concurrently viewing, and we've had 11 views. It was up to 7 actually when you were doing the call-ins. Now it's dropped. Oh, it's gone to 5 now. So we've got 5 people actively viewing the stream at the moment, and yeah, not a lot else to add from this end. So if you leave me out the next round, Greg, and obviously I'll continue streaming till the end of the net. G4 NRC, G7NEH.
G7NEH, G4 and RC returning. Okay, yes, I'm watching the sort of preview video coming back on the phone rather than the video itself because of the delays going through all the systems, which in part appears to be up to about a minute or more, depending on how things run. But yeah, we still haven't figured out what this magic source is that gets some viewers one week when they don't know what I'm about to say and not others. However, thanks for doing it. I do have a look on that now so I can see in small print if anybody has at least commented, even if I can't quite make out the detail. So thanks for that, and 7-3 to you. Trevor, G4KUJ, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC, G4KUJ. Yeah, good afternoon, Greg and everybody else. Nice to hear everyone on this afternoon. Good to hear you on again, Phil. And nice to talk to you and Anne on, what was it, around New Year time for quite a long time. That was nice to catch up. Not really done anything on the radio front this week. It's been very quiet from that point of view, but busy on others. I think I've already told you I intend to be around on the meeting on the 17th, and that, I think, is all of any note from me at the moment. G4 NRC, G4KUJ.
G4 and RC returning. Okay, yes, you and Hans got the sort of prelim when I first picked the date in collusion with South Africa. My only problem putting an invite out for any meeting, because we're trying to do for one for West Cheshire at the moment, is hovering around that. We're going to have a meeting. here's the agenda. Oops, I've just forgotten to add something on. So when I'm thinking it could be a quiet one, it suddenly starts growing arms and legs of things to talk about. So yes, that's next week, and we shall see how it all turns out. In terms of not done much on the radio, sort of same here. I am hoping to have a play with the new JS8 Core mobile client and the 2.5 version that's been released, with a view of trying to get some updates done and giving that a go, because it would be really useful having a really small HF data system. Okay, thanks Trevor, and that might have given Philip something to talk about. G4KIL, G4 and RC in.
G4 and RC, G4KIL. Various things come up. I'm not sure related to what you were just talking about. One of them was in terms of the emails. I mean, because I think it was in the RAYNET News that came out on Friday. I think the actual wording was to let people know that they were losing their RAYNET email address. I thought they were all being ported across onto Gmail. Did I misunderstand that? So there's a question which you may not know the answer to. The radio-wise, my main thing was having got round to actually getting a new SD card for my Raspberry Pi 3B and put the new latest operating system on it. I was hoping to be able to get the real VNC server running more stably on it, and only to discover that actually the very latest Pi operating system doesn't support the cloud-based connection on the real VNC. I think there's some issue to do with the way they changed the desktop. Has it gone from X something to, is it X11 to Waystone or something like that? I couldn't quite understand it all. Anyway, so that's been a bit of a disappointment. Unfortunately, I do still have the old SD card, so I can put it back the way it was. But the positive on that one, which had nothing to do with radio at all, is that I did manage to find instructions for setting up the Raspberry Pi to emulate a router. So we could give it the identity of a broadband router that we used to have years ago, which we had problems because we had some Ring cameras, and the reset button on the Ring camera seems to have died, so I couldn't reset them to the new one. But I managed to get that to work, so that was good. I haven't tried it in earnest yet, but certainly proof of concept certainly worked, and the camera, I could see myself on the camera as it were through the website, so that was good. I think apart from that, that's probably it for the moment. As I say, I won't be up for the Wednesday night nets for this coming month, and I forget what happened on the following month. I think it looked like it was possible. I think we end up on Saturday, does it, most of the next month? Anyway, that's a little way away yet. G4K and CG4KIL.
Before and RC returning. Yes, window manager changes do seem to break things that you least expect. So when you started to say you were trying to get it working, I was already typing in latest iOS might have broken things. The plan in October, as you recall correctly, was to migrate to Gmail, but because that would have lost us Teams, etc., then there was going to be a left behind group using the 300 free licenses that we do still have from Microsoft to feed controllers and deputies, etc., off the Office 365 system. And then we seemed to have IT issues that you couldn't have the same domain serving different addresses across two places, and it all went into a state of improperty after that. So that's where it's coming from. I'm trying to just get my head around everything at the moment and make sure that if we do retain group controller and controller, coordinator and their deputies' addresses on the system, which will hopefully retain access to Teams, that those people will be able to add their members to the Teams if they desire, depending on their local requirements. But this is what we're trying to figure out. Okay, thanks Philip. I think it is daytime next month anyway, you're right. Phil, G4HUF, just a heads up for you, because you're going to hear West Cheshire talking about exercise home ground. yes, I am going back to the 80s and an exercise you ran all the time back then, just with a different twist on it. So wondering if you want to be kept copied in on the discussions and what's going on, so you can see how we're evolving it, and maybe it might be of use to Dane Valley. G4HUF, G4 and RC, over.
This is G4HUF, yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. It seems it's my first time on the net this year. Happy New Year to all. Right, well, last first, exercise home ground, yes please, because obviously if it's something that we can get some of the Dane Valley guys involved with, then that will be a good thing, because our diary is decidedly bare at the moment. We've just got the one event in there at the moment, the trout race, and not heard anything about the mountain biking activities in Bollington this year yet, so that's got to be dealt with. And as far as the email saga is concerned, it sounds as if you've answered my question in the regard that the new email that Jill issued me with about a week ago, it's worth setting up, and that's going to stick, so that is useful. In fact, that's very useful in that regard. I've just spent the last day plowing through the TalkTalk website, trying to find out or remind myself how to add an email address onto my account. I was planning on setting up a dedicated email address on there for RAYNET activities. It sounds the pressure's slightly off there, but ironically enough, I got it sorted out about half an hour ago. So that's Murphy's Law in that regard, isn't it? So I'm a happy bunny in that regard, with those answers that you gave earlier on. And although it's a great disappointment losing the RAYNET email addresses that we had for everybody, based on the fact that not everybody was using them, it's not the end of the world. And as you say, if we can keep the officers on the system, then that will be very useful. With that, I shall shut up and pass it back. This is G4HUF.
HUF, G4 and RC returning. Okay, Phil, well, I'm trying to do an email to a group tonight, so after I get back from basketball, so I'll blind copy you in on that one. Just an introductory one for the starter. Got like 40 something extra with what's been worked on in the background, and it might be one you run locally, and then we see about bringing it together as a county. But hey ho, let's see how it flies. It's got to work for us yet. Okay, thanks for that, Ian. Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC and the group, good afternoon. This is G3ZHX. I was going to ask a question about emails, but it sounds like most of the questions have already been answered, so I'll sit back on that one. And you may as well leave me out on the next time round. So with that, thanks for running the net, and I'll carry on to the end listening. G3ZHX.
Zulu Hotel X-Ray, G4 and RC returning. Okay, well, I doubt we've answered everything. I know this Friday morning announcement was kind of still being edited up till 9 o'clock the night before, and post its release, I've said we probably need to put some more messaging out, not wait until Friday, but I need to ask the questions myself about clarifying things. Okay, copied you out on this one, appreciated that. 2 to go in the final round, and then I can go and watch the basketball. So, Stephen, Mike 7 Victor Sierra Delta, bearing in mind your poor packet loss first time round, let's see if it's improved. G4 and RC, over.
Lots of back loss and lots of each one's a little bit more.
7 Victor Sierra Delta G4 NRC. Just stand by one. Right, Mike 7 Victor Sierra Delta G4 NRC. Anything from 10 to 45% packet loss, and that's over, Stephen. Gonna guess by the fact that the broken calls have stopped that you've given up for the moment, and I'll call you again on the second round. See if we can get to the bottom of it. Okay, we end as we begin with the server. Mike 0 Golf Uniform Yankee, good afternoon, Guy. G4 NRC, over.
This is Mike 0 Golf Uniform Yankee. Good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, all. Yeah, not been on for a while, but hello, everybody. Just a few things. One, you've probably figured out why I'm going on. A lot of people have used their RAYNET-UK, or was it RAYNET-net.u, whatever, the email address to register with the DMR server. That obviously will continue to function for you to log into the DMR server. However, that's the email address. It's also going to try and send you notifications about disconnects and so forth. So you probably need to change that. Unfortunately, the way it's set up at the moment is that is a administrative manual intervention. So if you do want to change away from the RAYNET email address, then you'll need to send myself an email, and you'll find me do a little dance with you to make sure your email is correct, and then I will change that. We're just changing the email address, the password will remain the same. Second is I would strongly discourage people from using the free email address that the ISP provides them for anything. That ties you horribly into that ISP forever and after. So if you do use that email address, it becomes very, very difficult to change ISP. So I would strongly look to do something different. Gmail or Hotmail or anybody else for your email is the way to go. Don't use your ISP's one. And then finally, yes, you absolutely can have an email service split across them. So we could have some people on Gmail and some people on Office 365. That does absolutely work. There are some things to count for. One has to be the primary, and that doesn't necessarily incur any costs, but one has the MX records associated with that domain. The other is then forwarded on to. I do this lots of times. I have a lot of experience in using and setting up email systems. I set up the NHS email many years ago on my systems. So do know how it does it, but yeah, bit of a shock to the system, but there are ways around it if we want to go that route. Anyway, that's it from me. So unless anybody has any questions directly for me, you can leave me out on the next round, and hopefully that gets you free and clear. From Mike 0 Golf Uniform Yankee, back to you, Greg, G4, and I'll see.
G4NRC, G4NRC, this is Mike Zero, Golf Uniform Yankee. G4NRC, looks like I wasn't getting out that time by the looks of it, given the blip. So acknowledging all that, yes, I have had issues, I have run dual MXs in the past across 2 different systems. So, yes, as soon as I said it, I knew I said it slightly wrong, but there's something at some point that was made pre-Christmas that this couldn't work, but one of the people who is doing all these migrations and sorting out the servers is on the OST list and has read your concerns. I would hope techie people could talk to each other. Right, aware I've just wasted a few seconds, let's go back to the top of the list for finals. Golf 8 Kilo Lima to Charlie, G4NRC, over.
Yeah, G4, NRC, J, KLC. No, I don't have anything to add. You could query why is Teams so important to the organisation when 2/3 of the group don't use email, but I won't go down that path. You have a good week.
Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie, G4 NRC returning. I think we have got people who have been really wedded to the system and it's got quite integrated with their groups, while others have used it less. So importance is in the eye of how much you like the system yourself. I have to say, for my group, I haven't used Teams for anything, but that's down to local decisions. But yes, so noted, Phil, and it's in the log. I do need to email you separately about something, but that will also emerge hopefully today or tomorrow. Okay, 7-3s to you. Mike, Golf 8 Echo Yankee is the other trustee on the call. G4NRC, over.
From G8EY. Oh, makes me sound like something from Her Majesty's Confinement Services. Yeah, okay. I must admit, things have changed here from the NRF point of view. I thought we were going quite well with meetings, but over the last 12 months, there haven't been any NRF meetings. They keep getting cancelled. So I've got my fingers crossed that the one in February this year will work. And yes, I enrolled on the server using my private email rather than the RAYNET-UK one. I'm quite happy with the ISP. I have no intentions of changing that. And I think they're just as reliable as any other system on the internet. You never know, any of them could go away at the drop of a hat. Has happened in the past. Thanks for ringing the net, Greg, and look forward to hearing from you next week from G8EEY.
Oh, Yankee, G4NRC returning. Okay, yeah. Horses for courses. I did say that when I had an ancient Beeman internet address and then wound up having to find something the hard way when they got bought up. So, it's all points of view. Trevor for a final. Golf 4 Kilo Uniform Juliet, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G4KUJ. Okay, all noted from the comments around the group and in particular Guy's comments. I've made my comments known via other routes. Nothing further, all being well. Be around next week and catch up on Saturday on the R1 meeting. Greg from G4KUJ. Cheers.
G4NRC returning. Okay, yep, see you next Saturday. For a glimmer of hope to everybody who's getting frustrated with curtailed nets, the way the basketball fixture list goes is I think next week is another constrained net, and then after that I've got 2 or 3 where we've got all the time in the world to discuss things. So we'll just watch all the news dry up at that point. Okay, thanks Trevor. 7-3s. Philip, G4KIL, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G4KIL. Yeah, thanks for the answers on the email. I think I understood them. I'll try and communicate to the rest of the group what I think I understood was happening. As far as use of Teams, we actually use it quite a lot. We had a group meeting on Teams this last Tuesday. We've got a committee meeting on Teams this coming Tuesday. And I use Teams almost every week on a Monday night to provide a link into our FM net for people who can't get in close enough. But all of those could be done with Google Meet or possibly Zoom with the time constraints. So it wouldn't have to be Teams, but it was there, so we used it. Okay, I'll say 73s, and hopefully be up next week, as far as I know I should be. Thanks for running the net, Greg. G4 NRC G4 KIO.
NRC returning. Okay, yes, and that's kind of as people like and adopt, it happens. I've also had somebody that wasn't very bothered about this at all because he found Microsoft too complicated. It's horses for courses. I mean, I actually dropped some money on getting a Gmail account discounted through an institution, and at $30 or $47 it's cost me for the year. Though that's an experiment, I won't be continuing because we're not going to migrate to it. Well, maybe not, who knows, we'll figure it out. Okay, 7-3's Philip, and with 2 possibly to go, given guys' comments. Phil, G4HUF, I think my focus is on having home ground for West Cheshire first, because we picked a date, but I will have M1DDN, hopefully from your side of the county, at height, so you might hear a bit of what's going on as you hear him act, but you'll get more in the emails. G4HUF, G4NRC, over.
This is G4HUF. Right, okay. Well, it's something to look forward to, if nothing else. And no doubt the evening gathering this evening, Bruce is providing the SRAM. We'll be having a little chuckle about the email saga. Bruce never took up his RAYNET address, and as you know, Rob has not been that enthusiastic about electronic communications. However, having said that, with him actually owning a mobile now, although he tries very hard to keep it to himself, it's quite clear that he does go and look on YouTube and other bits and pieces. So he's, shall we say, weakening, I think, although officially not the case. Anyway, on that note, you've answered my questions. I'm a satisfied bunny. You can put me down as a satisfied customer. I shall say 7-3s and let you get off to the basketball. Have fun, and we'll look forward to talking next week. This is G4HUF.
HUF, G4 and RC. Okay, well, yes, Rob's doing the right thing. If you don't have YouTube, you'll never find out what to spend your money on, which is all the things you shouldn't be spending your money on, but you'd never have discovered them any other way. Okay, regards to all of them, as usual, and yes, we'll talk next week. Final one on the list today, given nobody's asked Guy any specific questions, is Stephen, Mike 7 Victor Sierra Delta, G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC, this is Mike 7 Victor Sierra Delta. Repeat that. Try another one. Hit. G4 and RC, Mike. Drop out some.
7 Victor Sierra Delta, G4 and RC returning. Packet loss then was anything from 10 to 70%. Lots of dropout, Stephen. I think you said you tried a different repeater, but it was definitely not having it. So apologies, I do need to disappear in 15 seconds time, so I'll have to bring the net to a close, but we'll have to work on your link again because it has been so good. Okay, thanks everybody for taking time out of your schedules to take part in the net today. Be careful, have a good week, and until next Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time, I'll close the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net on talk groups 23531, Pheonix and Brandmeister, and 50233531 on the RAYNET-UK system, and return those talk groups to being an open net rather than a directed net. 730, this is G4NRC now closing and reverting to my normal call sign of Golf Zero Delta Uniform Bravo. Bye bye.